Good morning, guys. Today we find ourselves just north of Richmond, Virginia. We stopped at a hotel to get some sleep. And first thing of the day, we are pumping oil. And this is Harbor Freight pump number 2 for this trip. And it's gotten so weak, it was blowing fuses right away, where we're gonna run this thing to the death. So there's our fuse for the day. All right. Oh, there we go, back in business. And it is melting and smoking, but we're trying to get the oil out of here. So we're looking for a Harbor Freight right now so we can go warranty this pump again for pump number 3 on this trip. Last night when we were pumping oil, the pump sounded really weak. It's obviously getting really weak, and so it's time for another one. Today we're making our way down to Dothan, Alabama. We're gonna crash there tonight, go stop at the Klutch Kickers facility to grab some tires that we ordered, and then head all the way down to Tampa for Thursday night. We still have to work on the fuel system of the car, but everything else should be pretty good on the car. We'll do a tow alignment when we get there, swap the tie rods, but not a whole lot of work to do on that. Just something we need to consider between here and when we get there. We got a lot of driving left to do. So here's to another boring day of driving and hopefully no problems. Oh, one more problem I forgot about. The inside rear dually tire has also come apart, or is coming apart. I don't know if you can see the bubble there, but it's doing just like the other ones, where it's got a nice little bubble going on right there. So it's obviously gonna fail on this trip. And we got no airbags, so it's really, really rough to drive. We did get the 17-inch E-rated tires fixed so we could swap those on here, but I think we're gonna hit the road for now and then swap that further on down the road. Hopefully it blows up and takes out this other fender. We have victim number 3 for the trip. Where is it? How bad is it?
How bad?
Oh, it looks fine.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Remember the other one?
Yeah. Ooh, that's pretty rough.
Oh no.
That's tire number 3 for the trip. Same problem. And they're all the same brand. The other ones didn't have a problem. So these Delentes, more like delamination. This is one of the new ones, the Luna Trezzo. I'll probably buy a few more of those when we get home and see how those work out. Obviously these aren't meant to handle this much weight, but some of them are doing a good job and some of them aren't. So the Delentes are a fail. But I bought 2 more pumps. I'm so sick of these pumps, and I can't return to the store. I have to like call and do this warranty thing, and so I hope I get my money back someday, because I'm probably like $800 into pumps now that I should get a refund on most of it. But I need to find one really, really good pump and buy it, because I'm sick of going through this crap. And then when I hard mount something in the truck, I'll have a pump mounted to it, a couple of filters we can change really easily and not be dealing with putting it in the box, taking it out, getting oil everywhere and all that stuff. But one thing at a time. All right, so we had to unload the entire trailer to get the 4 wheels for the back, because now we're back on our E-rated tires again. We had 2 of them fixed. One of them still leaks, so we're still not 100%, but 75%, that's not bad. We've been pumping oil. We got a bad batch of oil because we're having some serious problems there, so I'm gonna go to the gas station and water it down with some gasoline to make it thinner so it can get through the pump all right. It was like really thick and sludgy. Even though we're filtering it and all that stuff, I think it's just too thick for the pump to handle. So when we switch it over, it like it really struggles to run. So we're gonna go do that. Once again, no airbags, so I gotta order some airbags and have them shipped so we can do that when we get to Florida. But we're ready to cruise. We're in Richmond, Virginia. We still got a 12-hour drive, and it's already 1:30 p.m. So we're gonna hit the road. Let's go. I'm back to my home away from home in Alabama with my brother, Colton. And today is the last day we have to prep for Klutch Kickers. We're gonna drive down tonight to Florida. We're about six and a half hours from the track. So we got the truck and trailer separated and we got the car off. So today we're working on getting the fuel system dialed in. We got to basically figure out why it's dropping fuel pressure under load. So I think what it comes down to is probably the fuel pressure regulator. So Colton has a Fuel Lab regulator, as opposed to this off-brand regulator that has stopped working. It worked when we tuned the car, and now it doesn't work. Well, I think it doesn't work. It might be a fuel pump, but everything's pointing towards the regulator. So we're gonna plop the other one in, see if that fixes it. If not, we'll go back and then start looking at the fuel pump for fuel pressure issues. Both front tie rods are blown out, so we're gonna cut the GK ones to length. I love GK Tech inner tie rods because they come in such a long length that you can trim them to fit whatever application you're using. So I've used them on Wisefab, I've used them on cut knuckles, I've used them on pretty much every setup I've ever used, because you can just set them to whatever length you need them for. So in this application, we have a long inner coupler, sorry, a long outer coupler. So our inner tie rods are shorter than they would normally need to be, which makes them stronger. So we'll cut them down to length, get that dialed. Because this has a ton of slop in the front end. The tie rods have gone through a lot of abuse. And we were talking about it. Who was I talking to? We were talking about the front setup. Oh, it was Wout. And he said, since I have so much spacer and a big offset, it puts a ton of more tension on the tie rods, and that makes them wear out quicker because of all that scrub that we've got. So that's probably what's going on there. Man, everything else is pretty good on this. I'll have to look through the rule book again and make sure there's no tech issues, but this car is pretty solid as far as all that stuff goes. I have to reach to grab my tires that were delivered to the Klutch Kickers facility. That's about 4.5 hours of my day today. So I'll just drive out there, drive back, have some tires mounted, and then hopefully these guys will be done with the car. We can load up and make our 6.5 hour drive to get to Bradenton tonight. And then tomorrow morning, it all starts. We get to load in the track and do all that stuff. So I'm gonna miss out on a lot of this, so I probably won't be filming what these guys are up to, but it's just another day. The action starts tomorrow. So we got this pressure regulator apart, and I really don't see what could be wrong with it. Like, the diaphragm's not ripped. It's such a simple unit. Like this ball right here sits inside of that hole, and it just regulates, you know, the spring pushes on top, and it just moves up and down based on boost pressure and fuel pressure, and it lets fuel pass through the orifice in the side there. So, like, it's pretty simple. The spring's there, I mean, everything's there. I don't know what could be wrong with it if the diaphragm's not ripped. So I'm gonna put it back together and try it again. What happened?
What?
He's got some torque.
It'll get you off the line faster.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's gonna spin the thing right off the tank. It's gonna break off inside of there.
Hey, that's your whole problem, man. Your tank's got too much torque. Or
your pumps. One thing I love about having cutout fenders like this is the ease of doing an alignment adjustment. I can just reach through here and adjust it pretty easily. So you see what I was talking about with the GK Tech stuff. We have this aluminum tie rod that adds a lot of strength there, so it's a lot harder to bend the tie rod for having such a long, skinny tie rod. Now the tie rod is a lot shorter, the skinny part, and there's a lot of strength in taking up the rest of the length of that tie rod. So I'm really happy about this setup, and I haven't had nearly the problems on this trip as I did the last trip. I don't know if it was something about the setup, the alignment, or if it was just the fact that we went to a stronger setup of a tie rod. But shout out to GK Tech for making that happen. I really like that piece. Was that in the filter?
Everything.
Oh, that's a lot of junk.
Yeah, very.
Oh, that's tire.
Tire, yeah.
Wow.
All tire.
What?
All tires.
How do I get that back on my tire?
Glue.
Glue? You think we should wash it with water or no?
The problem is tomorrow is not
dry?
Yeah.
No, we put it back on, turn the engine on, full boost, all the water goes in, and then it's dry.
Well, you run water in the truck, so.
I guess that's better than nothing there, huh? So we got everything done fuel-wise. I don't know what was wrong, but we took apart the regulator, put it back together, and now it works. So I don't know exactly. We also put a 450 pump in there. We found, as we were changing the tie rods, we found that the steering rack line was bent and kinked, and so that was definitely something that needed to be changed. So I had a spare rack. We pulled the line off of it, topped off the fluid. You can see the alignment isn't that great. That's where the steering wheel is straight. And the wheel is turned to the right. So we're gonna center that out. and get the toe probably a little bit out, maybe like a 1/4 inch out or something like that. Boost is turned up, so we need to go out and test it on the street and see what kind of boost pressure we get. I'm gonna send some logs back and forth with JR so he can verify that the tune is good. We're setting base fuel pressure right now. And then once that's all done, we can go jump in the swimming pool and relax for a minute. And then it's off to Tampa. So I'm doing a test drive. The car's super fast. I turned up the fuel pressure, fixed a couple things. The boost cut was coming in because we turned up the boost beyond what the ECU was originally set for. And this car rips in 3rd gear. Like, just rips. Let's see if I can do a pull here. Super stoked. That's 1.5 bar, 1.6. Feels pretty healthy. So since we had a little bit of cooling problems at some of the other tracks, even when it was cold outside, I'm gonna make a fan shroud. Basically it's got this shroud for the Taurus fan, but I'm gonna seal up all the little gaps, including along there, so that all the air is pulling across all the radiator. And I think that'll help just a little bit. Even if it's just a little bit, it's worth the effort. I hope we didn't damage the head gasket just turning the boost up, because it is a lot of boost right now. And after doing that little pull I did, the temp was up a little bit higher than normal. So I'm hoping it's just because it's hot here in Alabama and because that was a lot of load on the engine. So either way, I'm gonna make this fan shroud and hopefully that helps out. But the car's fast right now. It's ripping. It feels really strong. So I'm feeling super confident going into the weekend. Let me show you here how I do the fan shroud. I'm basically building a tape bridge, focus, between the plastic shroud of the fan and the edge of the radiator. So that was all open. It's not touching the fins of the radiator. It's kind of an extreme angle, so it pulls air still through the radiator and forces air to pass through those fins of the radiator that would normally be bypassed by the fan. So that'll help it cool down faster when I don't have any vehicle speed. I'm gonna see if I can reach the bottom. Maybe I'll just do the top. We also have these shrouds that we built on the side. Maybe I'll try and do some tape across the top also, so it pulls air through the oil cooler and stuff too, and through the intercooler. But my main priority was to patch up this side and the big gaps that we had, because basically there was an inch gap, not even touching the radiator. So a lot of air is just gonna get pulled in from the engine bay, which is already hot, and just get recirculated. So this forces air to come both from where the fresh air is and pull air through this part of the radiator and not recirculate hot air. So hopefully that helps. It's time to do that annual burnout, the driveway burnout.
Better get down there.
Nah, I got it right here. It's rolling. Clutch kicker. I'm feeling really good about this clutch kicker. This car is dialed. I spent all drift week getting ready for it. Like I can taste that in the back of my throat. I'm feeling confident. I gotta get out of here, man. That's too much. Woo! Got grip.
I've never seen your clutch foot.
That was wild. Took a minute to get going in 2nd gear.
Was that second the whole time?
I was 2nd, yeah. I was struggling. Car's dirty again.
Turbo spoiled good. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
Anyways, car's feeling good. I'm feeling good. I mean, the car's not feeling good, but it's good. It's time to load up on the trailer. We're about to hit the road, headed to Tampa for clutch kickers. Hopefully we don't have any problems with the truck or trailer or anything else, but as far as everything else goes, the car's good. There is one issue that we're having. That is the charging system. The belt's struggling to keep the battery going. I'm wondering if the alternator's not having problems. might have to warranty an alternator tomorrow. We'll see how this goes. I've got tons of belts, but you hear the belt's not squealing like it normally does. There it goes. Hopefully that doesn't become an issue at the track. We just stopped for fuel. Had to pump some oil. It's been working out really well to put diesel in this as well. It helps the helps those Harbor Freight pumps flow a lot better. And with as bumpy as this truck is, it mixes everything up in that tank pretty well. Fire it up, Kelly. You always get that little puff coming out when it starts up. Little bit of whatever you want to call that. Recycling, environmental impact. But now we're on to our next stop. I just finished my shift of driving. Jesse's coming with us, and he's brought his Bullet Mustang. So I'm gonna jump in and ride with him to keep him company, keep him awake. What is that on the ground?
Some
USDM rice. Dang, this is fancy. Fancy. Can I eat in your car?
I guess so.
Thanks. I had a hard time getting in there, so I don't know how exactly we're gonna get out of here. Oh, Kelly's got it. What a pro. Running over stop signs. Do not block intersection. Impossible. Nice work, Kelly. We arrived at the B&B, and we're gonna back the trailer into this narrow driveway on this quiet street. Good morning, guys. Today is race day. Just kidding, it's just practice. But it's the first day at Freedom Factory. We're gonna go take the trailer and drop it off there. I don't know how we managed to get this into this neighborhood, but left a little bit of mark in their grass at this Airbnb. Hopefully they don't watch this video. It's a little bit of a challenge to get that in the driveway, but we'll be fine tonight. We're leaving this at the track. What do you got?
Got something that goes a little faster than your car.
What are you
This is our magic weapon. This is how we're gonna win. People are underestimating everything about this. When you get hot, what do? You blow it away.
It's actually a good idea. Jesse, this was Jesse's idea. He brought this along so we don't have to go fetch water and spray the car all the time.
520 CFM. For most people that don't know, that's a big carburetor.
All right, let's head to the track. We're a little bit late, but we all got a little bit of sleep. We pulled up super late last night, and I think it was 4 a.m. it was definitely 5 a.m. before I was in bed, and now it's 11 a.m. So we got some sleep. We were supposed to be at the track anywhere between 8 and noon, so we're cutting it close. Let's go. So we made it to the track, the first official clutch kickers at Freedom Factory. It's been a while since we've been here. We're gonna get parked and then go take a tour around the facility and see what's up. We gotta go get checked in. So one thing I definitely regret already was not bringing a tent. It would have been really hard to cart it around all of Drift Week, but this is the one weekend that we actually need a tent. It's gonna be hot, but the car looks really good. Wheels are cleaned up. We've got everything set up. Well, everything. We're getting stuff together. We're gonna go get tech inspected to make sure that there's no problem with the car for tech. If we have to do seat belts or a bucket seat or anything like that, I'm not sure. But I think everything else should be just fine. So we're gonna go get this sorted out because practice is gonna start pretty soon. Kelly's going to handle the tech inspection. Hopefully that goes well. We got all the wheels and tires out. I think we're pretty good as far as wheels and tires that are already mounted. We're We're gonna try and burn up a bunch of the junk tires today in practice and then get all fresh stuff mounted for tomorrow. We got another 2 hours of practice tomorrow. So I'm gonna run the 08Cs, which is the plan for the event, is to run these 08Cs. Run those in practice tomorrow to get the final dial in. And then once these other wheels are burned up today, we'll go get all the rest of the 08Cs mounted on them. And should be good to go. We got a couple secret weapons. We've got some 08RS, some 08Rs on there. And then we have these necks and takeoffs, which are a little bit taller, which add a little bit of gear if we need a little more wheel speed. I've got 4 of those. So I just need to do some laps and see how the car is going to do and what we might need as far as like strategy or setup change or anything like that. But I don't think we're going to have any problems with this track and grip and all that stuff. But we're out here at the track. We're going through tech right now. Kelly's down there getting the car handled. Track looks pretty good. There's so we're doing that big bank. Coming off the bank, there's a couple dips and some kind of rough spots between the bank and the flat. So that's gonna be a little bit rough. We're gonna change some suspension settings based on that. But I've been selected to do one of the interviews. There's they chose like 10 guys, so I'm gonna sit down and interview with them for a minute. We've got 6 hours of practice today, so that should be plenty to burn off a bunch of tires and get comfortable with the car. See if there's any major issues with it, being on the hot track and everything. And then probably do like 2 laps and then come make some adjustments to the car and another 2 laps and make some adjustments and get as dialed as we can. So having 6 hours of practice is pretty good. There's only 45 drivers during practice. No shout out for Kelly, but I make a lot of money off this guy because you guys watch the videos and love Kelly. He's the main character in the play.
I'm the main
making
idiot.
Millions. I'm making millions, not you.
Millions.
Millions
of pennies on the dollar.
All right, so the car passed tech. I don't know how. Just kidding. Because Kelly.
All our brake lights work.
Brake lines? You cut the brake lines?
Brake lights.
We don't like those.
We don't need those.
We have this.
That's why I have a cable brake so you can't sabotage.
we had to steal Denopa's battery from his school car because the alternator stopped working.
What?
Yeah, so
Thanks, Chelsea.
So we pull
Put
up
it back.
and he says, "Pop the trunk." So we pop the trunk and he shakes the battery. And, what? No. That's just for looks.
Temporary?
Man. Yeah. Just shake the other one. It's not connected. Yes.
So we're finally all here as a group. I'll introduce him tomorrow. We got Kelly.
Hello.
We got Chuck.
No. I'd like to reintroduce
Charles
myself.
Ebenezer Eastman Sanborn IV. That's my actual name.
Chuck. We got Chuck.
Tell me again.
Charles
Wait.
Ebenezer Eastman Sanborn IV.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bring it back around.
Back around.
I'm Bobcat.
No, we're not doing nicknames.
Yeah, I'm Bobcat. And I like to party.
Little bit of whiskey tango, I like to party.
You can't party. I like to party.
Charles and I worked together last year with helping Rudy out, and him and I talked a little bit, and I was like, dude, when I was gonna try and do FD, I asked him for help, and he agreed, and then I was like, let's do clutch kickers instead.
I was like, sign me up.
Sign me up. So
Signed.
Charles and I have been talking about this for a while, so I'm excited to we're finally making it happen, and we're gonna win. Charles is the crew chief for the year. We have
Fly out of my eyes from that.
what's your nickname?
Chieftain.
What'd you say in the video?
¿Qué fue, carajo?
That's
No.
this is Pinto.
Yeah.
You guys already know him if you've been watching the other videos. 2 more weeks.
Yeah, come on.
You love the United States?
Yes, I love it. The road is amazing. Better than in Portugal.
Did you buy it yet?
No, but I have.
I'll get you one. Don't worry.
I'll get you.
I don't want no guns. But I found guns to wear.
Yeah. We've got
Jesse,
Jesse,
I'm moral support.
J Blood,
Juicy J.
moral support.
Juicy J, I like that one too.
I'm gonna hand Jesse my phone. He's gonna be doing media this weekend. Not right now. I'm the guy for the job right now.
You are the boss.
Johnny on
You
the
tell the
spot.
order.
No, this is the boss.
I'm the boss.
I'm the boss. How do we get in there, boss? Can you get us in there?
Yeah. Walk over there. I think we walk over nicely. If we all have one water, we can get in.
So we already had a problem with the alternator, so I found one at O'Reilly. That's one of those parts that I try and have a warranty with at the parts store so we can swap them out quickly and not have to hunt. And actually the store had it in stock, so that's always the best when you have the kind of parts where you don't have to hunt for them. It's really easy to find. So my parents are also here. They're still at the Airbnb, so I asked them to stop by O'Reilly and grab that alternator. So as soon as they get here, we'll swap the alternator out, but I think I can do a couple laps. It's not that bad, right?
As soon as they get here, I'll swap the alternator.
Takes like 5 minutes. I'll do it.
Okay.
No, I won't. Will you do it?
Yeah.
We have to cut it too. You know that?
Yeah.
Yeah, we have to cut it. What?
Pretty bad.
The alternator?
Yeah.
dude, it's
Yeah, but when you rev it up, it squeals and then it goes to 13.
Yeah, what were you saying? It loads up like a supercharger.
It's like,
Do we need to charge the battery right now?
Huh?
Do we need to charge the battery?
Yes.
The other battery?
Yes.
All right, let's run the truck and smoke out the pits.
yeah.
How did this pass tech? Try pounding on it. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Oh no, you had this off. And you went,
That battery's too big.
it's too big for our false battery tray.
Ah, look at that.
Crew chief.
There's a method to the madness
Shark bait,
here.
hoo-ha.
Which one's power and which one's ground
Yeah,
here?
it doesn't matter.
All right.
Yeah, there you go. The same
Do a
way.
quick touch. Zap, 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 zap.
How did you have this going through the box?
Under here.
Oh, yeah, it's I didn't work on this cars.
What?
How was that tire at 55 and this tire is only at 35?
Charles did it.
I didn't change it.
Oh, it was already like that.
Ooh-ha-ha.
I thought I got 40 on that one.
Zap.
Zip zap.
Everything is Charles's fault.
Yes! Correct!
He's the crew chief.
I'm the crew chief. I accept all the responsibility, including driving the car.
How much of the glory do you accept?
Oh, at least 60 to 80%.
What if there's no glory to be shared?
Nope, still getting it.
Still kidding.
I'll go hang out with somebody else.
Find the winners like, hey man, I'll see you guys later.
And then he'd be like, he beat you without a glove box.
So those are my first two laps. The first one I tried third, the second one I tried fourth gear. My first lap I felt pretty good. I was able to get decently on the bank, considering it was my very first lap. I was a little bit cautious on entry, so I didn't use the momentum to stay high, so I can definitely improve on that. My second lap I really just wanted to see what fourth gear would do, so I can either say yay or nay, should I keep trying this or not? And it, like, the car did it, but it was a struggle, because I had to kind of left foot brake to control the speed, and the car didn't have quite enough power to overcome the rear brakes to keep it. So that's a maybe, but third gear I'm going to try working on that and get the momentum. Anyways, we're having the alternator issue, the belt and stuff, and it's kind of working, kind of not. But that last lap when I did fourth gear, the car cut out a few times, just completely cut out like it was losing fuel. I had that problem before with a throttle position sensor. So the first thing that comes to mind is the TPS was having issues before. We put a new one in, and it's doing a similar thing as it did before. So I'm going to check the wiring to the TPS, plug in the laptop, make sure the TPS is giving a signal. Hopefully we don't have a bad sensor because I don't have another one. I don't know what we're gonna do, but I'm gonna check it out, see what we can find.
We're gonna do it. Is that what you're doing?
Well, I think there's no brake bias valve, so it's giving half power to the rear brakes. So I think, and they're super grippy, like lock-up pads. So I think it's just walking down the motor really hard. So left foot braking is not a big option on this. So I'm gonna stay with third. I think I can get third figured out in the bank really well.
What if we put a lock on the line for the caliper? The hydro.
Maybe. Might be able to do that.
This time,
Fourth was a struggle either way. It wasn't perfect, it wasn't ideal. I'm gonna work on third gear. I think I can do it. But we gotta figure out what's going on. So we found out that the where is it, Kelly? The pin is broken to the TPS.
the wire.
Yeah, the wire to the pin. So we kind of had it zip tied on there, and they just kept flexing back and forth until it finally broke. This is the signal wire back to the ECU. So we have power ground, no signal back to the ECU. So that's going to be an issue. So Kelly's gonna figure it out. We'll get that going. We're putting new tires on and we're gonna go try and figure out the track. I gotta keep trying third gear, see if we can get it figured out. But when I'm out there, the temp goes from like 85 when I'm sitting at the start line to after one full lap, it's up to about 100. So in practice, I can open the hood, but doing 2 consecutive battles, I'm a little bit worried we'll get close to 110. And in the ECU, 110 is where it's set to start fuel cutting. So I may have to turn that up to like 115 and just run the risk of running kind of hot, because we can't afford to have the engine cut out during a battle towards the end of the second lap. So give it a shot. So this situation right here just goes to show no matter what you think is gonna go wrong, it ends up being something that you weren't prepared for. I have pins, I have crimpers, I have everything at my shop, and I did not even think that this would be a reason, or this would be a necessity to bring stuff to fix Toyota pins at the track. But that's just how it goes. Alternator's kind of holding up. We've got the other alternator coming on the way, so we'll get that swapped out, but at least it's working for now. When the car drops down to idle, it goes to like 11.5 volts, but then as soon as I rev it up, you can hear the alternator kind of like kick in and squeals a little bit, and then the voltage shoots back up. So I'm hoping that's been the problem all along, as an alternator that's been failing. So hopefully new alternator fixes all that. And it's about to start raining right now. We got clouds everywhere. I feel raindrops. The track's gonna get slick, and then I'm gonna get zero practice in the dry, other than those 2 laps that I just did. But here's to hoping. So I set the shock settings really soft on this car because there's some really gnarly bumps here, and I don't want to upset the car too much. So the rear is set like full soft plus 3 clicks. The front is full soft plus 8 clicks, or 6 plus 6 clicks. I think that's really helping to get through some of those big bumps coming off the bank and stuff. I'm worried if it's too stiff, the car's gonna really get upset and it's gonna throw me off line and angle. So we're gonna stick with that for a while. These guys are almost done with the TPS, then we're gonna go run some more laps. This is the Federals. These probably have 1 or 2 laps. I'm gonna go burn these off, and then we'll move on to some Pergias, the Valinos, and see how those do. It is pouring rain. This car's not quite waterproof. It's leaking all over me. There's a couple of holes in the sunroof. It's dripping down my back, down my neck. I can't see out of the windshield. So I don't know exactly what I'm gonna do here. Remember how I was talking about I love Florida? I'm not so sure about that. This is wild. They shut down the track. This is just too much rain to drive in. And I'm sitting under the trailer, under Denofa's car, getting dripped on. I was getting dripped on sitting in my car too. Everything's gonna be soaked. All the boxes of stuff inside of the back of the truck are open. Everything's getting soaked. I was not prepared for this at all.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of We Can't Schedule Anything Without Having Issues.
We're having a family dinner at the Wawa's.
Yeah, look at this. Uncooked. It's uncooked chicken. Good stuff.
What you got there? Mayonnaise sandwich?
Gio hoagie. Pepperoni hoagie. What'd you call me?
This sucks.
This is not good.
The rain finally let up, so now it's it's time for the cleanup.
Yeah.
We got the alternator. It's Bobby! Hi, Bobby.
Hi. I love Florida. I'm gonna move here with all my friends and go to racetracks. And, yeah, I love Florida.
So if you want to run a Tundra alternator on your JZ, this is what you got to do. The secret's out. Oh, we got to take off more than that. More cut. Huh.
Oh, I just do all that. He's got gloves. If I wear more than one pair of gloves,
Can you grab the box? Yeah. That way you can set it in there, you don't have to get greasy when you just take it back.
I like it.
Is
Just speaking to you.
He does the same shit. I got videos of
That's
this
how you
fool.
know they're burnt.
No. I got videos of him cutting piston rings and he's cranking.
Where's the bolt? Where's the bolt?
Right there.
I can't reach that.
One man.
Where's the washer?
Oh, this thing feels pretty good.
You serious?
Probably put this back in.
Why? Obviously it doesn't work.
What's going on?
I broke it. You see, we were just talking about if I wasn't here, nothing would get done. Well, if I wasn't here, there would be no problem. No, you can't tell. Well, the crank pulley officially is broken. There's everybody should know this by now. These have a rubber like bushing on the inside, and sometimes it comes apart, and then the crank pulley goes flying down the road. And last year they had to weld it back on, and we're gonna do that again because we're clutch kickers, so we don't have time.
He keeps it third or something.
Yeah, keeps it third.
Then everybody's on.
There we go. I've literally done this before at Clutch Kickers last year on the other car. Exact same problem, which is why I brought the tool. Not the tool, the part. I just forgot to bring the tool. It's literally $10 for this tool at Harbor Freight, and I don't have one with me.
Where's Harbor Freight?
Yeah, shame.
To hell with that pulley.
Can you grab me a 13 wrench?
Go down. You guys, this is a wild wicknick in its natural habitat, replacing parts that have been broken for years, but we scab together.
Here we have a wild wicknick in his natural habitat, fighting for his life, removing stubborn crank pulleys with his bare hands.
Oh my God, I'm telling you, Charles, I'm bringing you everywhere with me now.
It's old. I get drunk all the time.
Coming off.
Human impact.
All right, so the rain has finally let up, and we're getting the car fixed. It was bad. Come on. And I'm not used to having guys that can fix the car. So this is the bad crank pulley. So the belt noise you've been hearing all along, the squealing and stuff, was this spinning on the crank pulley. So I think we would rev it up and this would gain enough friction that the belt would stop slipping, and we just couldn't see it. And it finally just barely got to the point where it was off kilter and it showed its ugly head. And I had a spare one. I actually brought a spare crank pulley, but I didn't bring the crank pulley removal tool. But Sharif, João Batillon, and his team, they had the tools we needed to get the crank pulley off, and they're right next door to us, so we got it done. The car's going back together. All in all, it took like 30 minutes to get the whole job done. So shout out to these guys for getting it done. I'm the boss. I'm the boss. We got the car all fixed up. We're going out for our third practice lap. Since we lost like over half of practice, I want to get as much seat time as I can now. We're putting on some fresh Polinos, and I want to see how they do in the wet. There's a good chance to be driving in the wet tomorrow and the next day. having fuel pressure problems again. So we took the regulator apart the other night and put it back together, and it worked, but that was short-lived because it's doing the same thing once again. So I'm gonna put in this other regulator that we got, and hopefully that'll fix it. Also, I ran out of gas. We're sitting on a bank for so long, my fuel pressure dropped and the car stalled, and I was waiting in line, and so like I just had to lose my spot in line and come back in to get fuel. So we're doing some practice laps. It's semi-dry, semi-wet, which is kind of difficult. But the track is starting to dry out. So really, like, I'm more concerned about the ability to do the bank, and the bank is dry. So I have a lot of grip right now. It's getting kind of hard to like get up and stay up on the bank. But it's already 8 o'clock. Practice should be over. But I think we're gonna run a little bit longer, which is good. So I'm sitting in line waiting to get more. I had to come off track because I ran out of fuel. I'm sitting on the bank like this. All the fuel went to one side of the tank, and the pickup starved. So I had to like roll down, start it, and then go get more fuel. But we're having a little bit of a fuel pressure problem again. So we're gonna take it apart tonight and try and fix that. But I'm gonna go get in the car and get ready. So after that last lap, the car was super gripped up, and what I noticed is when I'm left foot braking, the front and rear bias is equal, 50-50. So that makes it so when I'm left foot braking, it locks up the rears, not locks them up, but puts a lot of pressure on the rear brakes. And I've got really grippy pads. So having those pads and left foot braking is really slowing down the whole car. It's slowing down the acceleration and slowing down the front. It's not good. So what we're gonna do is do super brakes, which is where you block off the rears and run only fronts, and then the rear will be my handbrake only. We don't need hydraulics to the rear because it's got a cable brake. So if we can work that out, I think that'll make the bank a lot better. I can left foot brake and keep the wheel speed up in the rear and be able to link the whole thing comfortably without losing vehicle wheel speed and all that stuff. So I'm headed to Drift HQ right now to see what they have. So we're driving the car home. Not home, but to the Airbnb. We gotta test it out. Yeah, it's a daily driver. All those people are looking. All those people are looking over. Like, yeah, we're driving it. Drift week. So car did pretty well. We eliminated the rear brakes. So the rear brakes is now only cable connected with the handbrake. And so when I'm left foot braking the bank now, it'll only be the front brakes. So hopefully that makes a difference. And then we added some pressure to the rear tires and then changed the fuel system. So it's got a new regulator and a new fuel pump, a 550 fuel pump, 540, whatever it is.
My bad.
So I'm hoping all that stuff works out. But basically we're gonna do some data logs right now.
What?
And make sure, what you do?
You just lost headlights.
Oh, that's a problem.
Oh, the thing tripped.
So we're gonna take some data logs and make sure the fuel system's good and that the pressure stays up and all that stuff. So that way when we come tomorrow, it'll be ready to go. So it's the end of the day, and things went pretty well today. We had a few hiccups, a few issues. I think we got it sorted. I drove the car back to the Airbnb to test it. Probably the only person at Klutch Kickers that drove the car away from the track to transport myself. But did some street racing. I raced Jesse in his Bullet Mustang, and neither of us had grip, so it was just a big. I was doing like 4th gear slideys down the highway, and then some guy in a Porsche. He like goes blowing past us when we hit the brakes, and at the next stoplight he's waving $100 bills out the window. Come race me, bro! Come race me! I was like, nah, I got no grip. No grip. But yeah, so it developed a misfire after one of the pulls I did. So we kind of did some diag as we were driving. I'm convinced it's either a spark plug or a burnt exhaust valve. But we went and looked at the logs, and I don't see anything that shows why it would have burnt a valve. It was had plenty of fuel. The timing wasn't crazy. Nothing was weird about it. So I'm hoping we just change the spark plugs and get it figured out tomorrow. But either way, it doesn't misfire under full boost. So I'm not worried about drifting tomorrow. I'm just worried if there's an issue, like, you know, that'll start to get worse if it is a damaged cylinder head. But not a huge deal. We're gonna go tomorrow, get some more practice. We like I told you, we did the brake mod and got the fuel working properly. So I don't think there's gonna be issues that way. I just need to figure out the initiation, the entry. I didn't really have a problem on the bank, especially if we dial the grip back a little bit. I think I'll be able to do the whole bank with no problem. It's just an issue of like how I get started into the bank wall, and my handbrake isn't super strong. So like if I try and handbrake up to the wall, it's not locking up going straight, and so I need to kind of feint and have the momentum going and then touch the handbrake. But it's not working exactly how I want it to. I'm just like not in sync with the track, if that makes sense. So I gotta figure that out tomorrow. That's my main goal. If I can get the entry, the whole rest of the track I can put it together. That's not a big deal, but I want to do really well on the bank, and I'm not feeling as confident and as good as I thought I would coming into this. So, but I'm still looking for that #1 spot. That hasn't changed. I just gotta make it happen. So thanks for watching, guys. We'll catch you tomorrow. This is the end of today's video. Follow along because tomorrow's qualifying, and we'll have a whole new episode of everything that goes on tomorrow. Hopefully no problems. Hopefully everything's just cool. But you know, sometimes a little bit of sprinkle and spice of drama in the day makes the videos more interesting. So whatever comes our way, we'll handle it. We got a good crew of guys here. Feeling really good about that side of things and getting work done when it needs to get done, and like making sure the car's good. We got all the problems handled today. So anyways, that's the end of the video. Bye.